Grand Rising, beautiful beings. It's Monday in man's calendar and working week. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend. I did. I sat in ceremony on Saturday night, and during that I was mulling over musing about change and the piece that I wrote about 10 years ago. And it dawned on me what I didn't know then, what I know now about change through lived experience, but also living closely to others that have gone through changes. And some of those changes are horrific. There are some changes I do feel like there's no coming back from. They're that shocking. So I just wanted to, and I wrote, so I channeled on Saturday night, change, what I didn't know then, what I know now. In no way, shape or form do I want to seem like I am trivializing change. Since first writing this through lived experience and coming close to what others have endured because of change, my heart goes out to those through changes have suffered greatly. I see how you have endured, masked, grieved from change. My heart goes out to you. May you find peace and clarity one day, somewhere, somehow. Some changes you just never fully recover from. It becomes almost a part of you. This piece on change I wrote, channeled years ago, was to help me understand changes that I may flow with change, with ease and grace. May it in some way, shape or form help you as well. And the other thing, this year, I can't remember when, but it was this year, I had thoughts about change, and it was, if you truly believe that you have changed, then you have to truly believe that others can too. And I know that might seem obvious to a lot of people, but for me, there was something in that realization going, oh, because I think somewhere in my head, you can end up fixing people in a certain way, and yet it's only one aspect of them. And I think if I believe that I have changed, that I can change, and that I am changing, then you truly have to believe that other people can too, and that other people are, and that other people have. And that was a beautiful realization. So keep that in mind, that if someone comes to you and says they've changed, at least give them the benefit of the doubt and observe and sense and speak into that, instead of believing what you think or believing it on past experiences. So in the beginning part of the change I chatted about the other day, it was talking about how you got to make a choice to take a chance for change to occur. So instead of doing the same thing over and over again. So this is for people who have decided they want to change. They're actually not satisfied with the status quo. They're actually not happy with their life or what's going on or their relationships or their quality, and want to do something about it, but have difficulty with change. It's understanding that you're constantly changing. What's the fear? If there's danger attached to change, then seek help, reach out. But change is happening whether we're consciously aware of it or not. And I think it's when we're unconscious of it that creates the most, I guess, difficulty with it. And when we can become more conscious of the changes that are going on, whether from inside out or outside in, how then we can manage our energies, because like I said, there are some changes there's no coming back from. The changes have been too shocking, too great, too horrific, too traumatic, too diabolical. Just, it changes you, it alters you. You see a different aspect of the world that you can't unsee. you see the world through a different lens that you never saw it before and you can't unsee. It's those kind of changes that my heart goes out to. And how then do you find, it's not so much peace with it, but how can you reconcile it so you can live, so that you can still honor yourself and your life experience and why you're here, and that responsibility, having quality of life for you, how you feed yourself, how you look after yourself, how you nurture yourself. Your feminine aspect is that nurturer. Tap into her if it's underdeveloped or it's weak, that feminine aspect of self-care. That's the nurturer. And she's also the intuit. So tuning into intuition as well. That'll help cope with change. And then the masculine's the protector. He's the boundaries. And he's the pace. So you've got to work together in yourself. And that will help with change as well. And how all great changes are preceded by chaos. Because I think it's like once you've accepted the change and you start to work with the change, that's when you're not resisting it. That's when you're accepting it as it is, and you've got the chaos to work with now, instead of your grief or the shock or you're still in the reverberations of the change. You can actually sit in that void and work with the change. We're going to have the disco ball light effect again. So from a spiritual perspective, Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about quantum moments. And those quantum moments are when the need to do something outweighs the fear of doing that something. When the need to do something, the desire, the determination, even the desperation, the need to do something outweighs the fear of doing that something. That's actually when you have a quantum moment and something clicks. It's like sometimes I experience as like a shift. It's like these things shift in my body and it all clinks in and then all of a sudden it drops in and it's locked in. This quantum moment is a signal that change is occurring at a fundamental part of your life and involves a shift across all aspects of your life. So when you think about it, if there's some change that you want to implement in your life, whether it's a new habit, and you finally step up to that plate and go, okay, I'm going to do it. And let's say it's just going for a walk each day. Well, that's going to have an impact on a lot of areas in your life because it's you carving out time that you never carved out before for yourself to do it. The impact that may have on people around you or not. And then the physical impact, what that does to the body, then the emotional impact, how that makes you feel. And that kind of exercise helps with the mental. So it does have impacts across not just yourself, but relationships as well. The other thing with change is we don't know what it will bring in the short run, long term, or in the end. And I think that's probably what a lot of people are, I know I used to. It's like, well, what's the outcome? It's that patience thing, wanting to get to the end, like me reading the last pages first of a book and then read the book. So I don't tend to do that anymore, but I used to. But it's when that change is occurring, even it's from you, from the inside out, you don't know what the final outcome is because it's not been lived before. So other people around that are also getting affected by change, they would have that fear of the unknown, fear of, well, what's the outcome going to be at the end? This is where trust comes in, and hope, and all sorts of other things. But the other thing with change is we don't know what it will bring in the short run, long term, or in the end. We have been comfortable, maybe too comfortable, and do not want to be disturbed out of our comfort. Don't want to have to change, don't want to have to be put in an effort to accommodate this new change. So there's that resistance already rising. And for lots of reasons. And some of them are fair enough. Just listening to the birds. I love the bird sounds. So ask yourself, when you fear change, what do you actually fear? Good morning, good grand rising, Megan. How are you, beautiful? So ask yourself, when you fear change, what do you actually fear? From one perspective, you actually fear the unknown. You fear the feeling of not being in control. You fear the judgment from others or even yourself. But the unknown, the lack of control, the judgment is not something to be feared. Ask yourself these questions. Is it tangible what you fear about change? The unknown, the lack of control, the judgment, they're not something to be feared. Ask yourself these questions. Is it tangible what you fear about change? One fear many admit is fear of death, yet it's the only guarantee from the moment of conception. Yet is there ever a convenient moment to die? As I watch a minor bird chase a kookaburra, very brave. Kookaburras are so tolerant of minor birds. Maybe they hope that just ignoring them that they'll go away. So yet, is there ever a convenient moment to die? Probably not. Probably not. Is your fear around change justified in the physical sense? Fear of snakes is understandable. That's real. That is danger right there. Especially if it is a poisonous snake. And I've come across those, and that's danger. So fear is a response to danger. But if you don't have a danger trigger and you're sitting in fear, that's something to explore. So ask yourself, can you grasp this fear with your hands and touch it? Fear is the thought you attach to things, peoples, places, situations. So back to change. What is it you fear about change? What is it about change do you resist? If change is happening to you, around you, and or from you, how are you handling it? Why do you think change can be so difficult? We also tend to see change as permanent. But sooner or later you grow accustomed to that new change and it becomes integrated. And then change happens again. And yes, sometimes big changes happen all at once. And using your tools is going to be your saving grace through it. Free will and choice. Most people resist change and resist changing what they believe, usually because they fear what or who they are without it. Fear of the unknown and what you believe, you know, has been a part of your character for so long, you have forgotten you can stop believing it at any time and to begin to believe something else. But not only that, it's like you can tell yourself that you can go back to what you were believing before and ignore the new beliefs that you tried, giving yourself that false sense of security that, hey, I'll try. And I can promise you, when you try and sit with these new changes instead of resisting them, you don't want to go back to the way you used to be, because all of a sudden you have found release, relief, peace, and you sit with this new change. It becomes integrated. And you don't want to go back because it's like, oh, I didn't know then what I know now. And what you know now always helps you to expand. Growth mindset. Fear of the unknown and what you believe, you know, has been a part of your character for so long that you've forgotten you can stop believing it at any time and begin to believe something more beautiful. Another tool you can use when change is happening is to ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? Like seriously, what is the worst that can happen? Keep asking till you get to that deepest, darkest fear you have around that change. What's the worst that can happen? And keep going, and then what? And then all of a sudden you can go, oh, here's a solution, here's a solution, here's a solution, to counterbalance your fear of change so that it becomes a good thing that you're walking towards, not something that you're fearing. Once you realize what that fear is, ask yourself, what can you do about it? Ask yourself, what can you do to actually help yourself in this situation, and then act on it. This will then help develop self-trust and confidence. And you've got to back yourself 100% all the way. It's like, own whatever it is you decide, own it, and be behind it, and embody it. But also be flexible and adaptable. Be aware and be in the flow. What tools do you use now that help you through change? Tools may be researching more information, meditation, practicing self-awareness, taking time out in nature, journaling, healing, reading, networking, go on retreat. I like those. Change what you eat, learn more, ask more questions, think of solutions, implement solutions, rescue a pet, let go of what is blocking, open up to change, share with your closest friends, trusted friends, for unbiased advice or opinions, because that's what it is, guidance, and a friendly ear, shoulder. So there is an evolution revolution going on, and more people are growing up and changing. And that's what tends to happen, and that can have a ripple effect when that one person in a group, whether it's a family dynamic, whether it's friends, community, and that one person starts to make changes and fundamental changes, or they're going through fundamental changes in the lifestyle, that has a ripple effect on those around them. And so then change would happen to them, not in the same way, but it would be relative to the changes that are going on for you or that person for them. So change really does ripple out. And through this evolution revolution, we need to instigate change in the food industry. You think about food and what they're doing to food now. I know, it's like I could not give it any energy, this whole eating insects things. It's like, no thanks. It's like the world really has gone mad. Really has gone mad. Why not go back to basics, the fundamentals, and repair the soil? Grow those seeds that you're storing, because if you grow from those seeds, you'll get more seeds. And make sure what you're growing is healthy and organic, and you eat it. The water. You eat the water. I'm not eat the water, you drink the water. Well, it's going to have to be filtered now. Town water's got fluoride, chlorine and heavy metals, and rainwater, what do you think that's got in it, with what it's been sprayed in the sky, and the aerosols and the herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, and the whole chemical shitstorm? What that rainwater's like, that needs filtering. Spring water, even bore water, it's like it leaches into the soil, it leaches into earth, what's on top. It's not separate from, it's not like it slides off water off a duck's back. So change to the food industry. That would include water. And the rabbit holes you go down then when you start doing that kind of research, looking into the food industry and how corporations have to make a profit. It's law. Corporations have to make a profit. So how do they keep making a profit year in, year out? Well, corners would start to be cut. Ingredients, components would start to become poorer quality because it's cheaper. And for some reason they think it's about profit. It's not about health, it's about profit. So I do encourage, even if you've only got a balcony or a kitchen windowsill, grow something, grow, grow. It's, you don't have to be good at gardening for gardening to be good for you. And this, coming back to the food industry, looking at the changes that need to happen there. And that starts with you, because it's your money that you go to the shops and you spend. So it's you changing from the inside. If we want change in the food industry, then we've got to change where we're spending the money. So those that support health, that's where your money goes, because we can support that. They support us, we'll support them. And everything else that only supports sugar addiction, type 2 diabetes, gluten, and all those other foods, all those other industries, avoid. So that if they want to keep making profit, it's their choice then to make a change to go more healthier or not, or go out of business. But it's our hard-earned money, because that's the world we live in, that we're spending, that are keeping these corporations or these companies in business, making us sicker. A disconnect again. So change in the food industry. Change to the wellness industry. It's not really a wellness industry, is it, when you think about it? They say there's a pill for everything, but what do those pills do? Why are we not looking at all the other aspects in a person's life? It can't be one size fits all, because no two people are the same. You know, when I was going through all of my ill health in my 30s, not one of them talked to me about diet or stress or trauma or abuse. It was always just, oh, here's a pill, have a test, it's this, that, and the other. And it was lacking. It was lacking answers. It was lacking truth. And it was only through my own self-determination did I start looking at the food industry and the health industry, because of my own health issues. And I knew I had to change. I had to change what I was doing. Otherwise, I don't think I was going to make 40. Or if I did, it was not going to be good. So my future self in mind, I decided to make changes. And so I looked into the food industry, wellness industry. So I realized the only way I can instigate change with who I am. I'm not one of these activists that have got the energy to go and on great big platforms and challenge all these corporations. It's like it's a David and Goliath. No, my change started at home, in my own kitchen, in my own attitude towards myself and my own attitude towards food and health. And that was the only way that I was going to make change as well, was to change my attitude and my beliefs and my behavior and my information I had around it. So the more I researched, the more knowledge I obtained, and the more I could make informed choices, which has led me to where I am today. So change on the inside. That'll ripple out to the food industries and the wellness industries. Are you taking your proper supplements? Because the food industry is so bad, and the food we eat is so depleted and processed and chemically laden, our bodies are depleted. So they then go through negative changes. That has a negative impact on your body, a negative change. So you can do something about that by realizing the body needs vitamins and minerals, trace elements, and nutrients to be a healthy, functioning body. So you go about making sure it's got that. And where there are imbalances, why is there an imbalances? Does that mean you're not absorbing? So maybe you need a little bit of more salt in your body each day. So all these changes you go through to help you live a healthy, long, happy life. The education system, again, is part of realizing and growing up and maturing and critical thinking. You look at the education system, and it's not, you're not allowed to question. You're not allowed to come with your own character, thoughts, beliefs, theories. It's shut down, and the education system is all about how good's your memory and at repeating. It's not so much about learning how to critical think and expand beyond the current constraints that they impose through the education system. The justice system, sure. Actually, the whole construct and concepts that modern humanity looks at actually needs to go through change, and I think there are changes they're trying to instigate, which to me is making it more totalitarianism. Can't say that word, sorry. whereas we could be leading to a much more mature, evolved way of living if only we could all change and grow up and be more responsible and not so hurtful, and allow truth to really speak, for truth to speak its voice. It's what we need, but we're not ready for it. People aren't ready for that honest, veils lifted, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain kind of truth, let alone truth speaking to each other. So more people are growing up and changing. The food industries need to change, the wellness industry, the education system, the justice system. I'm not even going to go there. That's part of the past 10 years, oh, not 10 years, yeah, 10 years, sorry, 10 years of living vicariously of what other people have gone through with the justice system. And when you really look around you beyond the mainstream media, the glossy magazines and newspapers and the hype, when you look out beyond that, you find that this is so. Most of all, when changes happen upon you, respond, don't react. Bring your conscious awareness into the picture and ask yourself some serious questions and answer frankly, honestly, and truthfully. So when change happens upon you, try to respond, not react. Bring your conscious awareness into the picture and ask yourself some serious questions, and you've got to answer frankly, honestly, and truthfully. You have many people around you that can also help you shift through change. Utilize the services that you are drawn to. With awareness, you can be alert to changes, which helps establish a healthy attitude towards change, and in turn it helps set up a better approach to and through change. And with promise in your heart, encourage yourself to persevere through the challenges that some changes bring. And by practicing awareness, attitude, and approach, change doesn't control you. Be the change you wish to see in the world. So the writing's on my website, and there's some notes that you can take that can help you if you're going through change. It can help you clarify, articulate, acknowledge, and not be so overwhelmed or consumed with changes. And it can become a valuable tool in other ways for yourself as well. So mind is all about empowering your beliefs. Promise and awareness. Promise is the indication of future excellence or achievement. Maybe personal beliefs need to change alongside change as well, which it does happen. That's why I think we get so challenged, is because it challenges the set, it challenges the status quo that we have settled with. And we've got to push beyond that, and we're pushing beyond that into places, thoughts, beliefs that we haven't formed before. So remember, fear is not real, danger is real, fear is not. Big difference. Become aware of what you are thinking and feeling towards change. With promise in mind, learn to counteract some fears and defeating beliefs with affirmations that are based on truth. Life has no meaning until you give it meaning, so to be sure to understand the meaning you are giving it. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow and suffering. Let reality be reality. Matter, energizing the body. Practice and attitude. Practice, repetition or exercise of an activity in order to achieve mastery and fluency. Your physical body is one of the most beautiful, influential tools you have that inspires or impinges how you get to experience life. Look after it, and it will look after you. So your body is one of the most influential tools you have that either inspires or impinges how you get to experience life. It does. If we look after our body, there's things we don't have to worry about, but you know how much the body impinges of your life experience. Try living with arthritis. Try living with, artificial limbs or amputation. The body is the greatest influential tool on your life experience. Look after it. When change is happening around you, feed your body nutritional organic whole foods, drink plenty of clean water, know when to rest and recharge, so you will have the clarity of mind to understand the changes and adjust your attitude to change, especially if it is particularly challenging. So this is where we step up to that, the nurturing side of us, and take better care of us so we can function through change and not go into that stress response, have the cortisol running through our bodies, become burnout, stressed out, depressed, constantly anxious. It's like step in and do something different. Also, eating well and resting gives you energy to practice and to keep practicing the strategies and new ways of moving through change. Eat nutritional foods, play and exercise, rest and relax, work and create. Look up more, come outside more, expand your vision instead of being in four walls, which can really close your vision in and make your world smaller. It's come outside. Come outside, step outside. Go barefoot more, especially now that it's getting warmer. And just be mindful of bindis. That's the only thing, isn't it? Bindis. Walk through nature regularly. Magic is engineering beauty. Persevere and approach. Persevere to bolster, sustain, or uphold. Magic happens here. Here is now. This moment, today, this minute, right now. And your approach will dictate if you see magic in change or not. Remember, when learning anything new, in this case, new ways of anticipating change, dealing with change, moving through change, that it'll take time for you to become more normal or become your normal response in change. So you've got to give it time. You've got to persevere. You've got to really just embody that practice, and you walk towards it. You know that you will get there in the end. You will. You've got to persevere sometimes for those new neural pathways to form, for that new change to become more familiar and comfortable. Trust. Persevere and maintain an open and positive attitude, and you will not only be ahead of change, but you'll be embracing life as well. Read spiritual works that inspire and motivate you. Connect back into the natural world. Spend a night away from light and noise pollution. I love that. Go glamping. Go glamping. So change, and I know, and there are some people that the changes that they've had to go through, and what got them to persevere, of working through the changes, of how they got through those massive periods in their life where it was horrific, it was disturbing, it was diabolical, and what got them through. And it wasn't them resting on their laurels, that was them really persevering, backing themselves, doing what they could to help themselves. And that's the biggest thing, is learning to help yourself. It's very bright with the sun in my eyes. I can't see. So have a beautiful day, everybody. And I hope that whatever changes that you are going through, that you're able to find courage and curiosity, peace and acceptance, and hope and trust through those changes, that what's around the corner may not be a more improved, better dream, what you're wanting. And you've got to back yourself to walk towards that through this change that you're going through. And how you do that, maybe you need, support of a team, support of friends and family. And you've got to do that research, and you've got to grow and expand to get yourself through those changes. So it's going to be a beautiful day today up here on the mountain, and garden. Look how big the carrots are getting. I don't know if you can see. I've been eating peas off but I'm going to eat some more. I can see one in there. They are so sweet. It's amazing. I managed to save the broccoli and the cabbage under netting. And the parsley's looking so green and lush. The beetroot's coming up. Camomile's about to flower. And the sage, it's just beautiful. That purple flowers there. So I've missed coming into the garden. It was so windy and so hot, and it was just way too uncomfortable to be outside. So it's been a blessing to be able to come back into the garden this morning and start my day off listening to the peewee birds. And the comfrey. Oh, I'll just get up and turn around. Look at the comfrey. I don't know if you can see that. The comfrey's flowering as well. The wormwood's gotten bigger. And there's snow peas. And the carrots are looking so lush. And check the basil in the corner. So they're all doing well in there. And here, let's have a look. I think that one. No, that's not ready to come off. And when they get really fat, let's have a look. Oh, that one. Oh, so sweet. So, have a beautiful day, everybody. And talk soon. Aho, amen, so mote it be.